Let's go. So today I'm going to give you guys my review and basically my experiences with the new app, Pokemon Go. Now, this is the newest craze going on in the entire world right now, unless you're Japan right now, which they're still waiting for the release. But Pokemon Go has become a huge sensation in this past week. So in the beginning, like around last year, around in the fall time, my roommate told me that there's a new game that Pokemon's coming out, and I said, oh, is it a new portable game? And then he said, no, it's a mobile app game where you can actually catch Pokemon called Pokemon Go. Now, at the trailer looked amazing. Now, I was a little bit worried because it had this like function where it looks like it was like in a 3DS game. But as soon as other news came out with the beta release and people did this whole the whole bar that can switch from either 2D to real world with your camera, and it's called the AR, and you can actually catch Pokemon like right in front of you, in front of your mobile device. Last week I went to a nearest mall, which was one of my favorite malls, which is an outside mall, and I was just basically just like walking around like I usually do, you know, running through the 6 with my woes during that day. Is a long story. I went on Twitter and I heard a lot of people saying that Pokemon Go is going to be released either today or tomorrow because it was released in like, I believe, Australia and somewhere, I can't remember, but it was already released, and I was like, oh man, are we ready for this? So the game was like released somewhere around 7 o'clock, and I didn't get home until like 9 because I was having fun with this game. Now, I believe I was like one of the first people like at that mall to see that Pokemon Go was actually up, like live. So if you've been living under a rock, or if you're like an older person that doesn't usually get onto the trends of a mobile app, or if you're my parents, then I'm going to tell you guys more about this app. So Pokemon Go is basically a new game by Nintendo where you can catch Pokemon in real life, but actually, you know, it's in your phone, and you can actually switch over to your camera, and it looks like the Pokemon is right there near you in real life. Now, the purpose of the game is, what you do is you catch Pokemon, which is pretty obvious, and you have to level them up. And with leveling them up, you don't have levels like you do in the original games, like with level 36 or level 100 or level 1. You basically go through something called CP, which is like combat points. And how you get that is you have to like take like some kind of stardust. Like, you get stardust when, like, when you're either battling or when you catch more Pokemon like that, and then you have like these candies like from the first stage of the Pokemon, but like from the name of it, and you use those candies. It's not rare candies, but it's something different. Like, you gotta use those candies to evolve your Pokemon, and also to level up your Pokemon, you know, with their combat points, because if you're not, then you're gonna end up at the gyms, and then you're gonna get slaughtered like I did on my first day.
Fuck Pokemon Go! This needs to Pokemon stop!
Until Pokemon stops. Now, the Pokestops are basically, they're really, really fun because I did not expect that they would do Pokemon stops where you actually can get Pokeballs, kind of like a Pokemart, but you're not spending anything. But you have to go to these Pokestops if you want to get more Pokeballs or more potions or more revives and more eggs. With these Pokestops, Nintendo did a great job with these Pokestops because everywhere I go on campus, they like got like almost every somewhat monument and something significant on my campus with a Pokestop, and also with also around the world with Pokestops. Like, there's like, I'm pretty sure there's like one for like the Eiffel Tower, and then there's like one for the London Bridge, and there's one for the, I'm pretty sure there's one for the Statue of Liberty. I heard that they made one for Area 51. Like, somebody went out to Area 51 and claimed it as a gym. And also the Holocaust Museum, which they are pissed off. Like, they want Nintendo to stop making it a Pokemon stop so they won't catch Pokemon there. With these Pokemon gyms, they're now controlled by 3 teams: Instinct, Mystic, and Valor. Now, the team I joined Team Valor because I love Moltres and the color red. So with that, you have to fight off against the opposing team, and it gets really random because I remember I went to a Pokemon gym. This is not the first time. This is around the second time that I went to a Pokemon gym near my mall, and I actually beat it. But then you realize that there are other people there, and they're going like claim it already, like to switch over. Like I tried to put over my Pokemon there, and it's like my experience with Pokemon Go. It is amazing. Like every time I go outside, like if it's around my campus, or if it's at the mall, or if it's at the outside mall, like I mentioned, or the park, everyone is playing Pokemon Go. Like everywhere you go. When I went to the park on Sunday, 90% of the people at the park were playing Pokemon Go. When I went to the outside mall, around 95% of the people were playing Pokemon Go. Like everywhere I went, I said, "Hey, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go." And I'm like, "Hey, you're playing Pokemon Go?" And they say, "Yeah." And they're like, "Pokemon Go?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like you know that people are playing Pokemon Go. I even saw some older adults like saying, "Oh, they're just on their phones all the time, and they're just like playing this new mobile app." And I was going to turn around and said, "Bitch, this is Pokemon Go." Now with the Pokemon itself, let me guys show you my team I have so far. So I got the basics on how you catch these Pokemon. Like you have to go catch them like at least 27 times, or how many the candies you have to get to level them up, which is kind of unfortunate, which you can't like just like buy rare candies or have a level. But I guess they want to separate this game from the original games. So right now I have like the Charmander, the Pidgeotto. I got one Horsey, Beedrill. I raised it ever since it was a Weedle. Go back the Pidgeotto. That was actually my first catch. I found it on my first day at the mall, and I caught a Dratini outside of Belk, and then a Magmar at the park, which it had like it was out there. Like everyone could catch a Magmar out there, and I'm still trying to find an Electabuzz. And then there's Flareon and Ghastly. I caught that like outside my dorm room. And Jolteon, got that from an EV when I evolved it after recently catching like around 20 EVs. Ponyta, the story with Ponyta, let me tell you the story about this Ponyta. On Tuesday, I swear, I think I broke the law because I was looking for this Pikachu, and those step counters, like they don't show the meters on there. I was trying to find a Pikachu. This other dude I was with trying to find a Pikachu as well, and we were walking, trying to find it, and I'm pretty sure we were on private property, and I found the Ponyta just there. I was trying to find a Pikachu. I was searching for an hour. Like, I was sweating. I already had my towel with me. I also caught the Ivysaur in the wild when I was at the park. The Goldeen, Staryu, Vaporeon, found that at the outside mall. Like, somebody said, like, hey, there's a wild Vaporeon, and I looked on my phone and I said, oh, man, I gotta go get this. So, that's pretty much my strongest right now. Venonat, which I'm trying to evolve that until about a month. Omanite, which it hatched from an egg. Krabby, found that on campus. I found the Bulbasaur and Squirtle like 2 days ago. Yeah, I found that 2 days ago, and I actually found the Bulbasaur at the art department in Squirtle near my dorm. So my Growlithe was from an egg. My Rhyhorn was from the egg. Abra, I found that in my car when I was at the mall. Scyther, I found this today inside a Belk. And Raticate, I found that in the mall. Nidoran Mall. Poliwhirl evolved that from a Poliwag, yeah. And Shelter, it was from an egg, and the Mankey was from an egg. So my experience with catching these Pokemon is really fun, and I gotta say, like, even though you have to catch a lot of them, it's quite enjoyable to that passes the time. Especially Pokemon Go also makes you get outside. It makes you get your ass up and go catch these Pokemon. Like, Nintendo did a great job because, most of the time when you're playing the normal games, you have to, like, you're just sitting on your ass just catching Pokemon on your 3DS, DS, Game Boy Color. But with Pokemon Go, you have to actually go outside and walk around if you want to get those rare Pokemon, which is actually a pretty good exercise. Now, here's my problems with it, which was 3 things. 1, they released it on a hot summer day. Like, I wish Pokemon Go was released in the fall when they didn't have all these problems, which I'm going to get to later. And also, with it being in the summertime, like, damn, and Nintendo, what you released it in the summertime, but I wish you released it in the fall because it's hot as Sasha Banks' ass out there. I was sweating like crazy out there, but now I got a towel. Just start catching Pokemon because now I'm a lot better prepared because in the beginning I had just jeans on and I was sweating. I didn't have a towel and my freakishly long hair. I'm like just sweating. My second problem is on the second day of Pokemon Go, the servers. Now, the servers, they were awful on the second day. The launch date was awful. Like, they had all these problems with the servers, and no one could get on, and you had that blue screen of death all the time. And then on that Friday, around Friday afternoon when I got off work, they finally fixed the problem. And when I went to go see Mike and Dave need wedding dates, I saw that the app was actually working fine, and everyone was having a great time at the outside mall. I even caught like a Zubat when I was inside the movie theater. Now, the third problem with Pokemon Go is like the step meter. Now, I heard somewhere like if you have like 3 steps trying to get to that Pokemon, it's like around 60 meters or something like that. I really wish they put in like the number of meters that you have to walk because, you know, using the steps, like when I was looking for the Pikachu, I was going left and right and up and down trying to get closer, and without going into the further downtown, I didn't want to, you know, get robbed or anything. So I just said, this, I'm just going to go and catch Pikachu another day if it shows up on my campus or in the mall or whatever. Now let's talk about the pros and cons. Which one of you guys want to hear first? Well, let's start with the cons of Pokemon Go. So with Pokemon Go, the cons of this is basically like there was a lot of server problems, like I said, but it mostly real life problems going on right now. Like I've been hearing like you know, like I said, the Holocaust Museum wants to stop making this a Pokestop, so they gotta go contact Nintendo. Another thing is people are getting into car accidents because they're Pokemon going and driving, which you do not should be doing. That is way more dangerous than texting and driving. I'll tell you. And also with people finding dead bodies, people not looking everywhere, people being hit by cars, people falling off cliffs, people running into things, people not paying attention where they're going. Pokemon Go witnessed a murder, which I've been hearing that was a hoax, but until I hear otherwise, and I guess we're just going to say that's what happened. Also, I want to put in one more con, because they did not put in levels in this Pokemon Go. Now, let's talk about the pros. Now, the pros of Pokemon Go, it makes you go outside. It makes you get off your ass and go exercise so you can go catch some Pokemon. And also, it's the people. Like, you see everyone playing Pokemon Go, and as soon as they release that trading function and the whole battling function, then you can go trade and battle with your friends instead of just at the gym. And also, it's great to just go catch the Pokemon outside and make it look like you're actually catching Pokemon in real life. I even heard from my family, like when they went to the mall, they saw that a family was playing Pokemon Go on their phones, and you know, it's a really great app. Now let's talk about the hype. The hype right now with everyone playing Pokemon Go is just ridiculous. Even in the App Store right now, it is #1 right now, beating Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Tinder, whatever app you have, Snapchat is beating them, and Pokemon Go is #1. Even in Nintendo stocks have gone way up because of Pokemon Go.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Bitch, don't ruin a great thing. Overall, I gotta rank on 2 things. I gotta give a 5 out of 10 on the launch date, on what happened, you know, because of the server problems and all this stuff. And also, I gotta give it a 9 out of 10 now, like the whole overall game. 9 out of 10, it is a great app. If you don't have the app, if you don't have the smartphone for it, then I hope you get the smartphone so you can play Pokemon Go. And hopefully the phone that you do have gets released on that phone. Overall, I gotta say, it is a great game. Hopefully in the near future, Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes up with some kind of game, kind of like Pokemon Go, where you can have a virtual reality card game. A Charmander, Scyther, Vaporeon, Flareon, Jolteon, Ponyta, a Magmar. What else do I have? A Squirtle, Ivysaur, a Pidgeot. But I yet to find a Snorlax. Can you help a brother out and help him find a Snorlax?